Hello and welcome back to our very last day of Healthy Core and Yoga Flow. This is number 30 and this will be the end of our month-long journey together. If you so choose to have been joining me for the whole month, or maybe this is like a once a week thing for you, or whatever it has worked out for you to be. I am so excited that we have done this together, and I hope that you felt like stagnant energy has lifted off, that your vibrancy has changed, and that you might have even received, downloaded, and feel like a new vibrancy has reached you. So I'm very excited to be with you here today, and we are just going to take a comfortable seat and we'll join together for our last Healthy Core and Yoga Flow class in this day 30. So thank you so much. Let's take a comfortable seat and sit nice and tall onto the sit bones. Finding a nice clear line in the spine, all the way from the seat up towards the top of the head. Checking, scanning the body for any stagnation that we might need to dedicate the practice to today. Our yoga flow part will be some straight leg stretches towards the very end that will help us to ground and root our femurs in towards the hips, to the hip sockets, so that our spine will be left nice and free and clear. And any other intention that you'd like to bring in for your practice, this is a good time to do that. We'll take another couple of moments here, scanning our body, scanning the energy field around us. And gently bringing the hands together in front of the heart and joining our voices in one Om. Take a nice big inhale. And release the hands, open the eyes, and let's come to all fours for our cat-cow to bring some vibrancy in towards the core and to expand into the back body and free up any stagnant energy in the whole back of the body. Tuck the toes under, arch the spine up towards the sky. Bringing everything we have into the front side of the spine, expanding the back body and inhaling. And I hope that this cat-cow movement after these 30 days have become your best friend. Maybe something you do when you wake up every morning, something to kind of plug in and feel connected for the upper and the lower body and the whole core. Exhale, arch the spine. Inhale, extend. And exhale, arch the spine up to the sky. And inhale and exhale, bringing the spine up to the sky one more time. And slowly come back to neutral spine and flip ourselves over onto our back for our healthy core, more kind of vigorous movement, I guess, than the cat-cow, to get some stagnation lifting and to really plug in towards the core and bring vibrancy into the layers of the belly. Take the hands behind your neck, interlace the hands, bring the knees into the chest, and we're gonna bicycle the legs. And we can stay right here with the hands. They can certainly be underneath the sacrum, they can be on the side, or you can have your hands behind your head on the base of the skull, and we can lift up and we can zigzag. And we can touch elbow to knee for 18 more. And 16. And 14. We'll just keep this going. 12 more. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7.
and 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1 more, and bring it all the way in. Take a pause with your head down onto the floor. Lift your legs up, and we'll do the same thing, zigzagging, scissoring the legs, pulling the lower belly all the way in towards the mat, spreading the toes, and especially the 4th and the 5th toe. And then maybe from here, you lift your shoulder blades off and do 20 and 18 more. And zigzagging, elbow to opposite knee. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, keep the breath going, 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, and 2, and last 1. Bring it up and take it back down. Phew. Take your feet together and knees apart for butterfly or Supta Padangusthasana. However you like to think that we're going to rev it up with some abs. We're going to pulse for 20. So it's not as relaxing as it might be just laying here. So let's lift up the shoulder blades and pulse for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 more, 9 more, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it back down. And bring the knees together, knees into the chest, legs to the sky. Open your legs for straddle or Supta Konasana. Spread your toes nice and wide, and we'll do another pulse for 20. So we lift up and 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it back down. Bend your knees. Bring your knees together. And take your legs into tabletop. Arms out to the side. Palms down. Legs in tabletop. You can have palms down, you can have palms up, whichever works for you and feels the best for your shoulders. Let's do a little massage for the organs by tick-tocking our knees side to side, doing our best to keep our shoulder blades onto the floor, and just simply taking the tick-tocking, the twisting, the Jatara Parvattanasana kind of pose in motion, which massages our organs and helps us to kind of wring out any impurities. And we'll go for 10 for each side. And 9. And 8. Keep the lower belly all the way in. 7. Stacking the knees on top of each other. 6. And 5 more. And 4 more. 3 more. And 2 more. Gluing those shoulder blades in, getting that nice turn and twist in towards the midline. And we'll do 1 more on each side. Here we go. And then slowly bringing it all the way in towards the chest, knees to chest. Put your feet all the way down. And we'll start off with figure 4. We'll come back here towards the end again. So here we are, either foot on the floor or take your hands underneath your hamstrings and press your ankle in towards your knee in towards the ankle, and untie any knots in that right outer hip area, gluing the ankle into the knee and letting there be like a nice organic release in towards the right hip glute area. Few more breaths right here. Nice deep breaths, active stretching, skin to muscle, muscle to bone. Raise your left leg up, take your hands around your ankle or somewhere below the knee. It looks like above from here. Then we're gonna roll the shoulder blades all the way up. And use the belly, lifting the organs in and up, and then exhale, take it back down. Left foot onto the floor, knee over knee, arms to the side, come over onto your left hip and come into a supine twist, crossing the legs over, releasing in towards the right lower back area. One more breath right here. And gently release the legs and come back up. And take your second side, feet flat and sacrum flat. Take your left ankle over your right knee and bring your hands around your right hamstrings and come into a figure 4 on our back, where we actively press the left ankle in towards the right knee, and where we just turn and churn and lift anything that's holding us down into the left hip and really waking up the layers in the hip area on the left side. Skin to muscle, muscle to bone. A few more breaths right here. And then stretch your right leg up towards the sky. Hands towards the ankle. And maybe stay here or roll your shoulder blades off of the back, off of the yoga mat. And roll up using your abdominals to bring yourself up. Getting more in towards the left outer hip. One more breath right here. And then exhale. Take it back down, bend your knee, put your right foot flat, left over your right, and come over to supine twist on your right side with your knee crossed over each other. Few breaths here, releasing in towards the left outer hip area. A few breaths, untying and letting the breath reach any areas in that left hip. Then you slowly bring it back to the center, bring your feet flat, take your hips towards the floor, take your knees in, and we're gonna take your right leg, either take your hands around the hamstrings, spread your toes, or take your peace fingers around the big toes, somewhere in between there. Left hand to your left quad, outstretched leg to big toe pose. Starting off, and see how it feels again towards the end of rooting the femur in and finding some new bright spaces in the lumbar spine. Take your right leg out to the side, opening in towards the adductors, pathways. Keep your left leg nice and strong down onto the yoga mat. Spread your toes. Wake up the layers all the way out to the pinky toe. And then gently bring it all the way back up. Bend your right knee and switch sides. Left leg in, right leg out in front. Hands around the hamstrings. And this is certainly a place where we can stay, or you can walk your hands wherever it's comfortable. Left peace fingers around your left big toe, right hand to your right quad. Pull your shoulder blades all the way down. Get a nice big stretch in the whole back of the leg, and really kind of grounding your left femur down and even out the hips and untying any knots in that lower back. One more breath here. And gently taking your leg out to the left side. Extended hand to big toe pose. Spread your toes nice and wide. Activate all the layers, waking up layers of the legs, the layers of the hips, the layers that holds the midline to extend out to our legs. One more breath here, and gently bring it all the way back up. Bend your knee and extend it all the way out. Take your thumbs and plug them in together, feet together, and full extension, full body stretch. And we'll take the same form but onto the belly. Laying onto our belly, take our palms forward and stretch our legs to the back, and coming into a full offering of all of these 30 classes that we have done together, palms together, and just offering out any extra energy that we have summoned during these 30 days to anyone that might need a little extra energizing vibes from us. We'll just summon it up and send it out, and also prepare for our yoga flow practice. By coming into the midline, nice and strong, extending the arms, forehead down. Hands by the shoulders, push back, child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones. And gently come all the way up. Downward facing dog, Padangusthasana. Walk out your ankles, your knees, your hips. Plug the upper arm bones in by lifting the upper arm bones up and away and plugging them in towards the shoulder socket. Feeling nice and connected. Arms, shoulders, thighs, hips. Another breath right here. Moving about the way you need to move about in your down dog to feel nice and open and ready for the next pose, which is Uttanasana. Take a step over to the hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Have your feet hip widths apart. Take your peace fingers around your big toes. Long spine, and exhale, arms out to the sides, elbows to the sides, shoulders away from the ears. Root all four corners of the feet, top of the head towards the floor. One more breath here. Hips and ankles are stacked. Hands to hips, elbows to sky. Press the feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, and release the hands to the sides and bring the arms all the way up. 4 hands over the head, interlace the fingers, index finger to the sky, come over to the left side and stretch in towards the whole right side of the waist, sipping it all the way into the whole spine, from your shoulder to your hip, from your hip to your shoulder. Squeeze the arms around the ears, around the temples, and gently bringing it all the way up and over to the second side. Squeeze the midline nice and strong together. Few more breaths right here. And gently taking it all the way up and hands down to the side. Nice, let's come to the front of the mat and do a couple of sun salutation variations. Release the hands, inhale, arms up, palms together. Exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Low cobra, high cobra, whichever cobra works for you. And exhale, bring it back down. Push back, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right foot between the hands, left knee to the floor. Anjasana, arms forward and up. Come forward in the outer hips. Pull your right heel towards your right sit bone. Plug everything into the midline and extend from there. Exhale, hands to the floor, down dog. One nice big long breath in downward facing dog. Step your left foot between your hands, right knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up for Anjasana, low lunge. Come forward in the outer hips. Just a nice big full quad stretch, full hugging the midline. Left heel towards the left sit bone. And exhale, release hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands. Come to the hands, inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms, Urdhva Hastasana, hands to the sky, hands down to the side. And we'll keep going. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge and fold. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale, bring it back down. Push back, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One nice full breath here. And then step your left foot between the hands. Summon all the powers from your feet through your legs up to high crescent lunge. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward. One nice big breath here. And exhale, release hands to the floor. Step it back, down dog. Even out the energies throughout the whole body. Step your left foot between the hands. High crescent lunge. Sweep the arms forward and up. Few nice big breath here. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward. Even them out so that they are nicely squared. And getting in towards the quad. Exhale, release hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Another nice big full breath here. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, feet to hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Press the feet, root your feet, rise the arms. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, hands to the side. And we'll keep going. Inhale, 2 more times. Bring it all the way up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Elongate the whole spine, stretch out through the toes. Exhale, release. Downward facing dog. From here, step your right foot between the hands. Left knee to the floor. Left arm up to the sky. Bring the ribs all the way in and take your left elbow outside of your right knee, palms together, twisting with your palms towards your heart center. So the top palm presses onto the bottom one. Tuck the back toes, take the gaze up towards the sky. And exhale, release, gaze down. Hands to the floor, down dog. Step it all the way back. Left foot between the hands. Low lunge, Anjasana twist. Right arm up to the sky. Bring the ribs all the way in and take your right elbow to your left knee. Palms together. Press that top palm onto the bottom and take your hands towards your heart center. Lift the gaze up towards the sky. Summon all the muscles in towards the midline and stay nice and centered. And exhale, release, gaze down. Hands to the floor, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread your fingers, lift your upper arm bones. Find a new space for all parts of the body to be. Come up onto the toes. Bend the knees, look between the hands. Feet to hands, inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Press the feet, sweep the arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to the sides. 1 more time. Inhale, long spine. arms to the sky. Exhale, release, hinge and fold. Bend at your knees. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, place your hands, plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor. Inhale into cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale, release. Push back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Prepare to step your right foot between the hands. High crescent lunge. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Take your left elbow outside your right knee and press the top palm into the bottom, twisting and turning, taking your gaze up towards the sky. Summon skin to muscle, muscle to bone. Staying nice and centered. Twisting in towards the waist, in towards the hips. And exhale, gaze down. Hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Prepare to step your left foot between your hands. High crescent lunge. Sweep the arms all the way up. Take your palms together. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Ring the organs and take your palms towards your heart center. Take the gaze up and over the shoulder. Few more breaths right here. Stay nice and strong in towards the center. And exhale, release. Gaze down, hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, long spine. Look between the hands, step or hop. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Arms to the sky. Inhale, bring it all the way up. And exhale, hands all the way down to the sides. Step your right foot, open it up to feet wide apart pose. Prasarta Padangusthasana, arms all the way out to the side, hands to the hips. Bring your shoulders up and back and take your heart, your chest up. Exhale, hinge and fold into feet wide apart with your hands to the floor. And then from here, take your peace fingers around your big toes. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold, elbows out to the sides, feet slightly pigeon-toed. Lift your shoulders away from the ears. We'll stay here for another breath. And gently release and take your hands back to the hips and inhale, come all the way up to standing. Turn your right heel in and your right toes out, arms out to the side. Warrior two, knee over ankle. Move it about so it feels comfortable, and even check so that your heel is right in the center of your left arch. So it's nice to just kind of check that. Feel all four corners on both feet and let that transfer to the knees and to the hips, nicely plugged in. Right palm up, reclining warrior two. And take your right forearm to your right thigh, left arm up and over, and sweep it all the way back. One nice big breath, and exhale. Either take your forearm to the thigh again, or fingers inside your right shin ankle. And of course, as always, bring in any block or anything, that book or something that will help you reach your goal and your stretch and your opening of stagnation and releasing it. And then from here, we're gonna just take a little dance over to the second side. Turn your left toes out, find warrior two. So we just do a little windmill over from the side to the other side. Virabhadrasana 2. Flip your left palm up, take it all the way up and towards the back, and forearm to thigh, right arm up and over, turning and churning any stagnation. Take the left arm up and back. Take your fingers inside your left shin ankle, sweep the right arm up and over. And we'll stay here for another breath, saturating, and then we stay nice and plugged in towards the midline and do a little dance over to the first side windmill up, warrior two. Reclining warrior two, forearm to thigh, sweep it up and over, turning and turning, sweep it back, reclining warrior two. Fingers inside your right shin or ankle. And exhale, come all the way around. We'll do our little dance. Flip your left palm, recline to the back, forearm to thigh, right arm up and over, and reclining warrior. Take it all the way back, fingers to the floor, inside the shin ankle, sweep it up and over. And we'll do our dance one more time, each side. Reclining all the way back, forearm to thigh. And reclining all the way back, fingers to floor. One breath and stay in the center, coming to the left side, reclining all the way back, forearm to thigh, and reclining back, and fingers to floor inside, sweep it all the way, and come to the center, and come back to our feet wide apart pose. A few more breaths here. You can fold forward, you can take your elbows, you can take your head to the floor, you can hang out and do anything that feels great for you. One more breath right here, and then hands to hips, elbows to sky, come back up to standing, and turn your right heel in and your right toes out, arms out to the side for Trikonasana. Pull the lower belly in and sail on down to your triangle version, maybe taking your hand to the outside this time so that we can mix it up, and we can also press the arm and the leg into each other and find a little bit more rotation for the spine, a little bit more opening, a little bit more vibrancy on a different level. A few breaths right here. And take the gaze down, bend into your front knee and come back up to standing. Switch to the second side, Trikonasana onto your left side. Lift the lower belly, anterior tilt your hips slightly to get your femurs to plug back, and then from there find the freedom of coming into Trikonasana onto your left side. Take the gaze up to the thumb or somewhere right around the thumb where it's vibrating so high that nothing is moving, and it's easy to keep the gaze right there. Few more breaths. And exhale, take the gaze down. Bend your front knee for security and lifting back up for a little bit more grounding. Hands to hips, bend the knees, jump your feet together and release the hands. Inhale, take them all the way up for full body temple mudra. Feet together, palms together. Lifting it all the way from the heart of earth up to the heart of source. Cleaning and clearing all the layers with that nice pure energy that's meant just for us. And then exhale, release hands to the side. And let's come to the front of the mat and release the hands to the side. Inhale, bring it all the way up. And exhale, hinge and fold. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, long spine, down dog, step back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your right foot between the hands, stay nice and low. We'll do our low lunge into Parisvottanasana, and our low lunge into Parisvottanasana, and again, low lunge into Parisvottanasana, pyramid pose. This time, step your back foot in and come and take your right hand in towards your right hip and pull your right hip back. Prepare for Parivrtta Trikonasana with your left hand crossing over your right leg and your right arm up to the sky. Take the gaze up to your right thumb and root down into the feet strongly. And clean and clear all the layers of the legs, of the hips, of the side body. And exhale, release. Gaze down, hands down, and step it back. Downward facing dog. Move about the way you need to move about. Step your left foot between the hands, stay nice and low. And exhale, extend both legs, Padangusthasana. And we'll do that a few more times. Low lunge, supporting, and then extending both legs. And low lunge, and extending. This time, put both feet flat onto the floor in a nice comfortable stance. Take your left thumb in towards your left hip crease and push your left hip back. Take your right hand outside your left shin or ankle and come into Parivrtta Trikonasana. Turning and turning the layers of the entire lateral side of the body. Turning them all the way in towards the midline. Making room for new vibrancy and connections in our body with ourselves. And exhale, release the gaze. Take it back down. Step back, down dog. Downward facing dog. Move about. And then anchor down in towards your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press into the palms, lift the upper arm bones. Clear into the back of the legs. Look between the hands, come up on your toes, bend your knees. Take your journey over to the hands. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold. And then from here, we'll test our balance a little bit. Take your feet hip widths apart and take your peace fingers around your big toes. And hinge and fold here. Padangusthasana. Hand to big toe pose. From here, take your left hand to your left hip and take your right leg and arm up at the same time. So I like to bend into my left knee to come into a nice level with my hip and my ankle to support my balance. Spread your right toes, press your toe away from your peace fingers and peace fingers into the big toe. And then from here, take your right leg out to the side. You can take the gaze over your left shoulder. Stay nice and anchored into our layers. And gently take it back to the center. Take your left hand outside your right foot. Take your right hand to your right hip and twist and turn into your standing outstretched hand to big toe. Twisty turny variation. And gently take the gaze back to the front, hands to the hips, and exhale, release. And I believe we have been here once before during these 30 days, so maybe there is a little bit of a muscle memory that will just be right there. Hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Big toes and peace fingers, having a little meeting. Fold forward, elbows to the side. Take your right hand to your right hip. Slightly bend into your knees. Root your right foot down. Lift your left leg up. And there might be different connection on different sides. Sure is for me. Maybe you're holding on to the wall or to a chair. Or who knows, maybe to a friend that's practicing with you. Pull your upper arm bone in, spread your toes. From here, take your left leg out to the side. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Feel a strong connection in your standing leg and foot into your supportive energy that goes straight into the heart of earth. And then gently come with your leg forward and switch hands. And that's a fun trick to do. Right hand outside your left foot, left hand to the hip, and twist and turn and take the gaze over your left shoulder. Breathing, softening, and staying super strong into the midline and very determined. And gently take the gaze back to the center, hands to the hips. Keep your leg, and then exhale, release, bring it back down. Excellent. Come to the front of the mat and release the hands. Inhale, take the arms up to the sky. Exhale, release, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step to tabletop. Knees and toes are stacked underneath, and hips and knees are stacked as well. Take your right leg out to the side and hip circle it. Nice big circles, loosening up anything that we might have kind of lifted to the surface. We'll just make sure, give it a nice help to vibrate on a different level. And then switch the rotation in the hip. Few more here. And gently switch to the second side. Left knee out to the side and then take it to the back and roll your left hip socket around and free it up from any stagnation, any blocks, and other direction as well. And exhale, take it all the way back down. From here, let's take tiger dog to really plug the femurs in before we come onto our back and come into our Supta Padangusthasana pose for today. Tuck your toes on each side of your mat, bend your knees and chug your hands forward. And so your femurs are plugged in and your quads and your ribs are hanging out together. And your gaze is forward, and there's some good freedom in the whole upper body, lower back. Pull the lower belly in. Exhale, sink your heels to the floor and come into downward facing dog. And gently come up on the toes, take a walk or a hop and come all the way to the floor. And we're going to come and lay on to our back, please. Just however we come down there is great, nothing fancy. So here we are, back to our figure four with our right ankle over our left knee. This time take your fingers and interlace them right below your knee, if that works. If not, by all means, take your hands again around your hamstrings or use a strap, anything that works for you. So spread the toes. See if you can sink down your sacrum a little bit more. There might be more of an opening into the lower back. There should be some more feelings in towards your right hip area, the glutes, the IT band. Maybe you're not feeling anything. Maybe it feels great. For me, I feel a lot here. There's been a lot of turning the last 30 days. A lot of rinsing and repeating and a lot of clearing layers. And then gently release that. And we'll take another supine twist. Come with your left foot to the right side of the mat and come over onto your left side of the hip. And come into your supine twist with your arms to the side, with your gaze over towards the right hand. Releasing, relaxing into your twist. And then gently bring it all the way back. And come and take feet on the floor, sacrum on the floor, left ankle over your right knee, and come into figure four with your hands interlaced right below your right knee, if it works for you. If not, take your hands around your hamstrings. And see if you can anterior tilt your hips slightly to get your sacrum to be a little bit more onto the floor and to untie some more knots and free up the lower back and the hips. Press your left ankle in towards your right knee. We'll give ourselves a few more breaths right here. And gently release. And then take your arms out to the side. Right foot to your left side of the mat, knee over knee. Come over onto your right hip and twist. Supine twist, just like in the beginning, but probably in a different layer. Maybe this twist is taking a different layer of our waist, of our organs, of the belly. And then gently bring it all the way back to the center and feet flat. And from here, bring the knees all the way in towards the chest and hug it all the way in. We're going to come back to our pose of the day, Supta Padangusthasana, which is when we lay on our back and stretch our legs and our hips and free up any stagnant energy of the back of the legs. Also, it's a really good one to help the digestive system, to free up the pathway and the elimination system by having some nice clear backside of the legs. Take your peace fingers around the right big toe and extend your right leg up. And by all means, bring in straps, hands around hamstrings. For now, take your left hand around your left quad and ground your left quad down. Roll your shoulder blades off of your back and use your abdominals and really get a nice, good massage in for the organs. Take your head towards your knee and extend your left leg. Extend your right leg. Breathe, softening, melting, and staying super plugged in all at the same time. And gently release. Take your right leg out to the right side. Anchoring your left heel down. So we are still having the hips facing straight up. There's no tipping to the side. We are just taking the leg as far as it's comfortable for us to keep our hips down onto the floor, sacrum onto the floor. And then gently take it all the way up and switch sides. Take your left leg over towards take your right leg to the left side and either simply drop it down or keep your hand on the side of the foot. Spread your toes nice and wide. And twisting and turning. Come all the way over onto your left outside of your hip. Take your right arm out to the side. From here, we can stay right here, or you can take that freed up right hand around your left inner foot, and you can get yourself a little bit more of a quad stretch back there, a little bit more purifying in towards the hips, more twisting, more quad, if that's for you. Take the gaze over towards the right shoulder. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Softening, melting, allowing the twisting to happen. And gently release your hands and take your feet back on the floor and find your way all the way back onto your sacrum and shoulder blades and backside, and bring the knees into the chest and just plug our femurs all the way in. And from here, take your peace fingers around your left big toe, send your right leg out, take your right hand onto your right quad, and anchor your right quad all the way down. Either stay here or roll yourself up into head to knee pose. Stretching your legs nice and strong, holding on to the big toe. Supta Padangusthasana, hand to big toe pose, stretching out the back side of the leg, untying knots in the lower back, clearing the whole back side of the outstretched leg and the whole front side of the forward leg. We'll take one more breath right here, and then roll your shoulder blades back down, your head down, and take your left leg out to the side. Remind your right leg to stay all the way down with your right hand as a weight, like if you had like a 50-pound weight on your right quad. Hips are facing straight up. So we are just keeping that left leg, we're only allowing it to go in a comfortable way so we can keep our hips nicely squared and actually doing this wonderful hip clearing pose. And gently from here, bring your leg all the way back up, and we're going to come over onto the right hip and take your right hand outside your left foot and stretch your right leg out. Supine twist. Supta Padangusthasana twisting version. From here, we can stay right here. Each side feels very different, so maybe just see how it feels for you. Take your left hand if it's available and take your right foot. So here we are in a nice little compass variation, twisty, turny pose. Taking the gaze over the left shoulder. Breathing, softening. And a few more breaths here, making some good memories for the body to stay into this supine, twisty, compass variation. And then gently take it all the way back and extend, let go of the hands and come back onto your back. Bring the knees into the chest. Hook your thumbs, extend your legs out. Feet together, hook your thumbs and just let that energy flow through the hips. From the upper body to the lower body to upper body. Let there be a nice, healthy exchange of energy, of vibrancy, of clearing and cleaning layers. Pull the lower belly in and up. And exhale, take it all the way in, knees to chest and hands underneath the knees. And come to a comfortable seat. To close up your practice, you can also always stay onto your back and stay there for a moment in Shavasana, or come and take a seat with me. So either you can lay in Shavasana, hands to the side, or hands on heart and belly, or come seated with me, take your palms up towards the sky, sit comfortably on something that supports your seat, and feel a new vibrancy on all layers of the body, sitting nice and tall onto the sit bones. And sending a whole bunch of thank yous and grateful feelings and thoughts to all the circumstances that made it possible for us to join in these 30 days of healthy core and yoga flow. I am very grateful to have you here, and I hope that you are feeling great and that you have a new vibrancy in your body, and also that you had something fun to do along the way. And the next endeavor is you can look for my chakra series that's coming up in both a yoga flow form and as well into a yin yoga form that I am very excited about. So that's the next endeavor, and then we'll do a 30 days of yin as well. So we have some fun things coming up for the next few months as we transition back out into the world of yoga studios. Since this is filmed in July of 2020, we are all kind of wondering if we should step out or if we should do yoga at home. So I hope this has been a nice help for you and something to have like a nice regiment, like a nice routine, something to feel good about. And I thank you very much for joining me, and let's join our voices together in one Om to close it all up. Take the palms together and center, sitting nice and tall, summoning all the poses that we've been doing together for these 30 days, and let them get vibrancy from our Om to each and every one of them. So let's take a nice big inhale. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. You can subscribe here, and the next video is up here. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the previous video or in the next one. Namaste.